Reacher confirms Season 3 will continue a problematic trend after Roscoe's exit. Willa Fitzgerald's Reacher exit, as Roscoe Conklin brought the show's inaugural run to a natural finish. But the moment also served as a catalyst for an unfortunate trend that has now been confirmed to continue into the coming season. Reacher Season 3 is set to be an adaptation of Persuader, which is the seventh in Lee Child's long line of Jack Reacher novels. As was the case with the Reacher Season 2 cast, the new season will introduce several new characters while leaving most of the old ones behind. However, it's not this trend that is the problem. Reacher Season 2's explosive ending saw Alan Ritchson's title character resume his life as a lone wanderer and part ways with the 110th Special Investigations Unit. Although Maria Sten's Frances Neagley will appear in Reacher Season 3, the show's semi-anthological approach means the upcoming story will be largely unrelated to Seasons 1 and 2. That being said, it will still be highly recognizable as the same show, and not necessarily for all the right reasons. Reacher Season 3 will add yet another romantic conquest to its main characters list, as the trailer shows the muscle-bound protagonist in the throes of a passionate kiss with Sonia Cassidy's Sonia Duffy. It had long been suspected that Reacher would have yet another love interest when the show returned, and now it has been confirmed. So, with the departure of Roscoe at the end of Reacher Season 1 and Carla Dixon, Serena Swan, in Season 2's finale, Ritchson's character is quickly turning into quite the ladies' man. The female love interests in the Reacher show are always incredibly well cast. They have great chemistry with Ritchson, and they are given characters to portray who are fantastic in their own right. Unfortunately, the rate at which the show's hero cycles through his romantic entanglements is something of a problem, as it makes them seem disposable and easy to replace. Plus, it becomes easy to predict that there will be an emotionally charged farewell between them both in the season finale. Despite his stoic demeanor and hard-to-read expressions, Reacher is actually quite a layered character with a fascinating backstory. Although the show has explored his origin a few times so far, his various romantic arcs have received far more focus. There's only so much that can be learned about what a non-platonic relationship with Jack Reacher can look like, and it's been extensively covered in the show's first 2 seasons. So bringing in Sarah as another Roscoe replacement feels very much like retreading old ground. To see things from another perspective, Reacher is clearly a show that wants to adhere to a particular type of formula each season. Sure, there are a lot of differences between the first 2 runs, but there are also a lot of hallmarks that give the adaptation of Lee Child's work its identity. One of these tropes has now been revealed as Reacher being unable to save the day without a woman by his side, and that relationship invariably turns into something more than friendship or just simple teamwork. Reacher and Roscoe parted ways very organically in the show's first finale. With Roscoe's pull to remain in Margrave and help rebuild the town, her path just didn't align with that of Ritchson's character, who yearned for the open road. Reacher Season 2 handled its breakup a little less convincingly, but it wasn't entirely unbelievable. Both Reacher and Dixon shared the opinion that they were merely resolving old sexual tensions that were never properly addressed during their time in the military. So, Reacher Season 3 has an interesting challenge ahead. The recent confirmation of Reacher Season 3 has generated excitement among fans, eager to see where the story will go next. However, with that announcement comes the growing realization that the show is set to continue a trend that has stirred debate: the revolving door of characters, most notably the exit of Roscoe Conklin, played by Willa Fitzgerald, at the end of Season 1. This pattern of introducing key characters only to write them out or sideline them poses potential risks for the show's long-term emotional depth and fan engagement. The first season of Reacher was widely praised for its tight plotting, faithful adaptation of Lee Child's Killing Floor, and above all, Alan Ritchson's commanding portrayal of Jack Reacher. However, a major part of the show's success can also be attributed to the supporting characters, particularly Roscoe Conklin. Her character was smart, determined, and provided an emotional anchor for Reacher in a way that softened his otherwise stoic and hardened nature. Fans appreciated their chemistry, with many hoping to see her return in subsequent seasons. However, it was revealed that Roscoe would not be part of Season 2, which has now come and gone without her return. Season 2 focused on Bad Luck and Trouble, another novel from Child series, bringing in new characters and situations. While this is true to the nature of the books, where Reacher rarely stays in one place or maintains relationships from one story to the next, it creates a challenge for the television adaptation, losing the emotional continuity that serialized TV often thrives on. Roscoe's exit and what it means for Reacher. Roscoe Conklin's departure from the series after season 1 left a void that many fans felt was not adequately filled. Her character wasn't just another sidekick or love interest, she was integral to the emotional and moral fabric of the show. The relationship between Roscoe and Reacher wasn't built solely on romantic tension, but on mutual respect and trust, which gave the action-packed narrative a humanizing layer. Her exit signaled a shift in the tone of the show. While Season 2 introduced characters like Neagley, Maria Sten, who shares a deep history with Reacher from his military days, the dynamic was different. Neagley is more of an equal in terms of combat skills and strategic thinking, but the warmth and vulnerability that Roscoe brought to Reacher's life were missing. This change marks a problematic trend in the series, the continual resetting of relationships and emotional stakes. The trend of Reacher's relationships being disposable. Jack Reacher's character in the books is a drifter, always moving from town to town, never staying long enough to form lasting bonds. This works well in a novel format, where each book is a self-contained story. But in a serialized television show, especially one released in the age of binge-watching, audiences tend to crave emotional through lines. Viewers invest in character relationships over time, and the constant resetting of Reacher's connections, as seen with Roscoe, risks alienating a portion of the fanbase. Roscoe's exit may not be a singular event. If the show continues adapting each book faithfully, it will likely continue this pattern of introducing new characters each season, only to leave them behind when the story moves on. While this may be true to the source material, it poses challenges for building lasting emotional stakes. Reacher's lone wolf persona is compelling, but television often thrives on relationships that evolve and deepen over time. Without that, the show risks feeling episodic and disconnected, potentially limiting its appeal in the long run. The impact on the show's emotional depth. The strength of Reacher lies not just in its action sequences, but in its ability to balance those with quieter, more introspective moments. Roscoe provided those moments. Her ability to challenge Reacher emotionally, to get him to open up, made the show more than just a series of fight scenes and shootouts. Her absence in Season 2 was felt, and with no indication of her return in Season 3, it appears that the show is committed to maintaining the lone hero archetype. This could prove to be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it keeps Reacher true to his character in the books. But on the other hand, it risks reducing the show to a formula. Reacher shows up, solves a problem, and moves on without any lasting personal growth or development. This lack of continuity could eventually make the show feel repetitive. Can Reacher break the cycle? The exit of key characters like Roscoe raises the question of whether Reacher can find a way to balance its commitment to the source material with the needs of modern television storytelling. Shows like Sherlock and True Detective have managed to create compelling characters while maintaining a certain level of episodic structure, and Reacher could potentially do the same. However, if the show continues to cycle through characters without giving Reacher